Prior to the First World War, a British officer was required to own many different uniforms for a variety of occasions. All regiments had a specific uniform worn for dining and social events, known as mess dress, which was invariably impressive and expensive. In Highland regiments, there were even separate variations depending on the occasion: mess dress for ordinary mess dinners, and dancing dress for more formal occasions such as balls and weddings. Here, an officer of the Black Watch is putting on his dancing dress. Unlike most other orders of dress, a pair of red and black diced full hose were worn. Garters with scarlet flashes stopped the hose from slipping down and aligned with the centre of the dicing to create a smart, symmetrical appearance. The black leather shoes were decorated with broguing and fastened with 2 sets of silver buckles, showing part of the diced hose between. They were lightweight and provided the manoeuvrability needed for Highland and Lowland dancing. Next, a white shirt was worn, usually with a stand or winged collar and studs. The shirt itself fastened either with buttons or with metal studs. A black silk bow tie was always worn, even on occasions where civilians would wear white tie. One of the few ways in which officers could customise their uniform was with cufflinks. These were usually made from precious metals and might bear family or clan crests. The kilt was the same as in all the officers' other uniforms, and was of government tartan with knife pleats and green silk ribbons to denote rank. It had no buckles and fastened with pins, as was the custom in the regiment. Instead of the regular dress sporran, the levee sporran was worn. This had tassels made from gold wire, which were looped together in a decorative pattern. The waistcoat was made of government tartan, but the set, or size of the pattern, was smaller than that of the kilt. It was also often made in lighter shades. The mess jacket was scarlet, and was in fact identical to the jacket worn in undress order. The collar and lapels were folded back to reveal the buff silk lining, and the royal blue facings were shown on the collar and cuffs. Both the jacket and the waistcoat were decorated with small gilt regimental buttons. The shoulder cords, made of twisted gold wire, were held in place by a screw button and bore large silver stars and crowns to denote rank. Any medals the officer might have were worn in miniature on the lining of the left lapel. Here, the 1911 Delhi Durbar Medal, awarded to most men of the 2nd Battalion, is used to illustrate this. The regimental pattern ski and do, or black knife, was worn in the right hose, with the handle protruding unusually high in order to show the figure of St Andrew at its base. For less formal occasions and everyday meals, government tartan trews and black leather Wellingtons took the place of the kilt, hose and shoes, and the uniform was then known as mess dress. With the outbreak of war, uniforms such as this were packed up and service dress worn for most occasions. However, at the beginning of the 20th century, mess and dancing dress were an integral part of an officer's everyday life. This finery came at a price, however, and that price was very high. A Highland officer could expect to pay around £3,000 in today's money for this uniform, and as it was worn in one form or another every day, repairs and replacement items added to the cost. The uniform alone, therefore, made it very difficult for an officer to live on his pay, and as such often precluded men from poorer backgrounds from joining more expensive regiments such as the Black Watch. In future videos, we'll explore this further, looking at the dress uniforms of a Highland officer and the cost of peacetime soldiering.